Howdy, folks. Yume Nikki, Episode 3. Last time we ended up riding a spaceship, we visited Mars, found the secret machinery within Mars, got the ability of a cat to entice others to approach us, got the ability of a stoplight to make others freeze, and a whole bunch of other stuff, honestly. And so I'm at the point where I don't really remember where I have been and haven't been and where I need to go. So today's episode is going to be me kind of just wandering. And let's see. I had something else to say. This may be a little bit of a shorter episode today. My throat is a little bit scratchy, and so we'll see how I'm feeling as time goes on. But I've got some nice warm tea that I can absorb as we go. In any case, though, there's definitely a few events that I still know that I'm going to try and roll the dice to get to happen. And let's just get into it, shall we? Da-da-da-da! Pow! There we go. Gotta flip a switch 500 times. Yeah, pretty much. Alright. Audio seems alright. Game honestly seems a little louder this time, but yeah, let me check here. Poke that down slightly.
And I don't want to let go.
Thank you Suno_Lily_so for following.
Thank you for the new follower. I'm Moo the Slime, and I like to introduce people to all the unique experiences that can be found in the indie game sphere. And, well, Yume Nikki is an iconic one that kind of defined the dreamscape wandering genre that followed. I've been here a little bit before, so I'll allow myself to use the bicycle. Anything to see in here? Entrance to the Hell Maze. Suppose we haven't done all that much with we've been staying away from this place, but at this point, perhaps we should investigate to see if there's something to find. Wait, there's enemies in here too? Ugh. place sucks. On something though, I think. We purchased a drink. We now have 2 health. Purchased a drink. We now have 3 health. Drink up. $17 health. Or 17 heart, I guess. Who knows if that's health? I suppose if we get into an RPG battle that's absolutely going to happen at any point in this game, then... Oh, look at that, there's a little human figure holding a spear. I don't think I ever noticed that in my previous playthroughs of this game. I think I've gone in a big circle. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's Deltarune Chapter 5. Sorry for the spoilers. The heart turns into 17 hearts. And that's because you drank a bunch of juice. Or sodas or something. Determining where the wraparound points in a map that's as cluttered with objects as this is a lot harder. It's very difficult to be thorough. I honestly kind of feel like I remember there isn't actually that much to see over there, at least in terms of routes to new places. Ooh. I never knew that. I did not know you could see her. Men's bathroom. Matatsuki trans mask confirmed. That is actually an interesting point that I do want to bring up, is you can find and use... There exists in this game exactly one women's restroom, and there exists exactly one men's restroom. Gender fluidity or trans themes of some variety are absolutely present within this game, and there are other reasons to think that gender dysphoria is a possible interpretation of some themes within this game. Is it? Oh, I'm glad to hear that that game's faithful in that way at the very least, because... Again, I haven't actually played it. But I feel it's an important aspect of what this game is and its identity. Lord, though, I'm not finding much this go around. You know one thing I can check on, though. His mouth is different. It talks to us. Stoplight? Flashing lights warning coming up here, along with loud and unpleasant noises in general. You have been warned. We're awake. You know, I knew about this event, but there is a detail in here that I didn't catch last time. The door that causes the face to appear matches what your front door looks like. The imagery in those rooms is associated, Madatsuki associates with leaving her apartment. Is the knife and Undertale inspired by this game? That's something you'd ultimately have to ask Toby Fox about, but Toby Fox definitely was, I believe, has stated direct inspiration from Yume Nikki for some aspects of it. And let's see. The kitchen knife being a nod to this game would not surprise me in the least, is what I'll say. In addition, back when Toby Fox operated under the name, what was it, Fwug Radiation, and made ROM hacks, he did Earthbound ROM hacks, so like he's kind of been enmeshed in the RPG maker and retro RPG community for a long time. Oh yeah, duh, of course. And Toby Fox has interviewed the developer of Yume Nikki. Yeah, Toby Fox at one point did publish an interview with the dev of Yume Nikki where Toby asked them ten yes or no questions and 10 yes or no questions. Ah. Thanks, Daedalus, for the what's the basketball term? Layup? There. Thank you. Yeah. 10 yes or no questions, none of which are about the direct content of the game, and one additional question of what would you order at Denny's? This is the one and only time that Kikiyama, the developer of Yume Nikki, has ever done any variety of interview. Kikiyama very distinctly does not talk about themselves in any particular capacity, and does not even reveal their own gender. Hey, Unicids. It's hopping in chat today. I'm really happy about that. One of the things I really like doing in streaming here is to sort of treat this as a book club almost. Talking about and bouncing themes and concepts of a game off a chat. It's something I always liked to do when I was growing up. I would invite friends over and play through a strange indie game of some kind. Something unique. I always really, really valued novelty in the indie game sphere. And just play through it and chat with them. and see what they thought of it, see what resonated, see what... Yeah, in some ways it was kind of like a proto-version of streaming. Oh, a different soda. Also, did you notice that? The border around our interface has changed color. But yeah, ultimately it ended up making a lot of sense for me to leverage that passion I had for indie game esoterica into streaming as a extension of it, you know? As folks had to move on and the times in which I'd be able to invite folks over in order to check out this weird indie game I found started to dry up, I did always want to recapture that energy to some degree. And well, here we are. I'm getting to recapture a bit of that lightning by showing y'all the grand kaleidoscope of experiences that the indie game sphere can provide you. Very strange that there's a small burnt-out tree next to this. It did indeed eat your message, Suno. Yodi to you too. That's one of the things about this game, is just... it's hard to know. Is that anything? Maybe not. Is that anything on a 1 in 20 chance? Maybe. Favorites of the wandering genre. LSD is a classic, which is to say Lovely Sweet Dream, the PlayStation game by... his name starts with an O. I don't want to get his name wrong, so I'm not going to say it. But it is also a esoteric wandering dreamscape game. Osamu Sato, thank you. A PlayStation 1 release, and you know what? I kind of wonder if that game invented the concept of the Hat Man. Because that game does indeed have the Hat Man in it. As a concept of a hallucinatory, shady figure wearing a hat that you see when you're taking too much sleep meds or whatever. As for my favorite wandering game, Crypt Worlds. Crypt Worlds is absolutely my favorite of them, and there are several other creations by Lilith Zone that I also greatly appreciate. One of which is a game called Symbol, which ultimately inspired a piece of art that I made that I now essentially use as one of my logos. Cryptoworld is a fascinating game because one of the only verbs that you have for interacting with the world is pee. Talk and piss. Those are your interactions with the world. Although functionally, that's just shooting tiny yellow orbs from yourself. That's the form it takes. I think we might be stranded here. A first-person shooter. You know what? First-person shooter. God damn it, why did that get me? Yeah, sure. I'll allow it. Who cares at this point? And tips their hat. I've already fully explored this dark area, I remember. Its expression changes. I'm not entirely certain that this is the time or place to discuss the finer points of piss in video games. But yeah, if you would like a really brief freeware experience, check out Lilith Zone's game Symbol. It is a very dreamlike vignette of a moment at the side of a road. Someone in chat can probably do me a solid by linking it. Lilith Zone itch account Symbol. I could probably do that as a Monday grab bag. As I am wont to say, it's on the list. Oh, look at that! Who are you? Snow Woman. Yep, Ayuki Onna, also known as Snow Woman. How do you react to the standard items? Willing to wait for the stoplight? Enticed by the cat? You're a kind of ghost, aren't you? Do you care about the triangle kerchief? No. Only one thing left to do. Let's see here. Gotta catch up a little on the chat. want to make a walking simulator for Game Boy. Godspeed, friend. This slime is cheering for you. If you get a copy of it set up, I don't really have any emulators on this. But poke me about it sometime if you get it set up on and hosted on itch.io. I'll take a look at it. Can I wake you up? Game Boy Studio does web export. Alright. That would make things very easy. It's always important to consider what verbs a game lets you have access to. I'm using verbs in the sense of potential actions you can take. And the bizarrely limited number of them in Yume Nikki, I think, is a strength of the game, especially since one of them is just kill, and very frequently gives you absolutely no benefit. Even for the fact that you get money out of it, sometimes it can be spent in the vending machines, but all that does is change the border around your interface and increases a statistic that never goes down. It's transgressive in that way because it breaks sort of implicit game design rules that one would expect to be in play. You're rewarded for killing things, but you aren't actually. It looks like you're rewarded, but you gain fundamentally nothing out of it. I believe this door, yeah. This area, I think, will lead us to those sewers, of which I believe there's more to see. At the very least, I do know there's one tiny interaction that we can spot. May I try a suggest? What's your suggestion? Traffic light. Alright. Sometimes things in this game just sort of exist, you know? Oh, is it that time again? Is it time to delight in murder? It's a little silly to have my hands here. One moment, please. Cleaning out the sewers. As always, a massive thank you to June Flower for creating this absolutely phenomenal artwork. This beautiful form. Tiny jump scare warning. 3, 2, 1. Uh, huh. Faceless ghosts. There you are. You know what we do next. I cannot kill the sink. hold on. Well, I sure didn't know that. Did anyone know that was possible? You can go through that corridor if you're small. Blah. Back to normal. Usually my experience is going through the other direction for that. Lake entity wants to pet kitty. Friend. Distracts him. Or causes a fish to bite. Something like that. But yeah, well, it's interesting that we can go the other direction through that. I think that's mostly intended to be a one-way door, and as a way to return from a different route that ultimately brings you here. And then you leave through that doorway, because there's nothing else here. Fire a TMP at the water, yep. That's the answer. I like that fella. Yeah, see. If you talk to this fella, he'll warp you to where we just were. Let's see if there's any other avenues from here. So let's see. Another one of those next to another blood pile, which gives us a hairstyle. Interesting. There's a piece of grass right here behind the wall. You can hear it from the bicycle travel sound. Yep, the step noise. A little bit of shift sound. Another one and another hairstyle. And another blood splat. Looping around. Waiting and hoping to discover stuff. Women's restroom. Credits to Unicids. Need to say every time? If it weren't for her connection to Mimi and the inspiration of her starting VTubing herself, I would not be VTubing myself. Mimi being the artist behind this beautiful model. This beautiful representation of my form. Assuming you're watching this live, if you look down below the video, one of the little squares there has a link to Mimi's other artwork. Check it out. She does very cute, whimsical, and sometimes a little bit scary artwork. Positivity is one of hers that is very evocative in its cutely illustrated grim subject matter. Daedalus Linking, my favorite of her works. Scam artist witch that sells her puppet's soul instead of her own to demons. That also got a follow-up piece of artwork where of her actually negotiating, speaking through hand puppets to a interdimensional demon. Ugh. That actually calms them down. Let's see. They do come back, but I think sometimes it takes you waking up and falling back asleep. I can't perfectly remember. I don't believe there's any permanently killable entities in the game. No, never tried the kitchen knife on any enemies. Well, enemies in massive air quotes. Z and X are the two main interactions, along with 1 and 3 for ability-related actions. The knife is actually one of the ones where you press Z in order to use it, but there are definitely some items that require you to interact with it by pressing 1, which is a very unusual button. Getting lost in the maze of public transit. Why for a game lost in Shinjuku Station is a rite of passage. Well, there you go. If someone who's versed in Yume Nikki could help me out here, which door do I go through to get the witch? Like, what's the first door for getting witch? Yeah, train car, but I don't know how to get to the train car. Wait, Dark Woods? Like the entry Dark Woods, maybe? Red maze mandatory. Okay, that explains some things.
And I don't wanna let go.
Thank you, Macha Shrew, for following.
Thank you for the follow, friend. Welcome. I haven't looked at the different hairstyles yet. Through the red maze. Thank you. To another maze. There's also an alternative mini version of the red maze that I believe involves stabbing a bird folk, if I remember. Sure can. Alright. Red maze it is, I guess. As suppose we had to eventually. And yeah, I feel like the other red mace thing that I'm thinking of has to do with stabbing a specific bird folk, or maybe getting grabbed by a specific one of the guillotine room bird folk. Honestly, I thought it was the bird folk that is guarding all the beds near where the guillotine room is, and that's actually why I tried stabbing it at the top of this episode. The bird folk with the crazed eyes teleport you somewhere inescapable, yeah. Each one does a different location. And the docile ones that do not have the crazed eyes can be turned hostile by stabbing them, and then they will warp you. But if you have the eye palm, then you can use that in order to get away. Yeah. And if you don't have the eye palm yet, then pinching your cheek is the only way to escape those locations. Where is the thing that I'm looking for? Yeah, this game's really cool. Please. I beg you. I can vouch BBC as the bomb is indeed quite cool. Cool and good friend. As are you, Conley. I once heard someone say that if you stab this thing enough, something happens. I don't know if I was being pranked or not. Because I remember trying it. Wait. Daedalus, are you talking about what I'm doing right here? Is this real? Good God. Yeah, I've tried this before and I just assumed I was being pranked. Takes you to the footprint path. Well, I've been there already, so... maybe that's one of the reasons I gave up on it. Might as well. Good God. Thank you for the map. I had no idea that the Hell Maze was that big. I'm looking at the map you sent me, and I'm looking for the tiling point, and there isn't one. That is not them looping the map over itself to illustrate a point. That is actually what it looks like. That's horrible. This place sucks. But it sucks in an intentional way. There's that figure we saw last time. Horrid. Ugh, make sure to stretch, y'all. It definitely can be, you know. It is absolutely a game that encourages, for a bit of a dated reference, and I don't know if this even applies anymore. It's definitely a game that encourages playground rumor spreading. Does the uncle that works for Nintendo mean anything to anyone? Apart being the name of a visual novel. Oh, hey, you're familiar with that VN, huh, Conley? The uncle who works for Nintendo, a horror game. Yep, interacting with that little fella is how you get the midget effect. Which is, poorly named, but it is what it is. I never really thought about it until now, but inside closets is a common negative association appearing in the themes of this game. In the guillotine room, in order to escape from it, you need to go into a closet, and several of the other closets, all but one of the closets in that area, are just have a laughing face at you that then shuts again while you're trying to avoid all the crazed bird folk. And then you can get to this spot from the lamp world, and if you look inside that closet, a sleeping Madatsuki is in it. Oh, you got a kiddo watching? Or do you mean a cat? Because it's a meow sound that caught attention. Ah. Yeah. Kitty coin. Small doper. Small kitty house. Flashing lights, sorry. Try and get through it as quick as possible. There we go. Oh, I'm pretty sure there's nothing for us out here. The interesting thing is, we still have a few effects that we haven't found yet. You'll know you've collected everything when you need to scroll down by one in order to see tutorial. The timelines of those games, like, doesn't match, but there is absolutely a through line between all those games for shared inspiration going one direction or another, you know? Door below us. Precisely, Suno. All roads lead to the Hell Maze today. I said I wouldn't do this, but you know. Speedrunner strats. That works over there, too, huh? If you leave, you miss a chance. That saves me some time, though. I wanted to go that route, but I always thought you needed to go and wander into one of the beds deeper within the dream world for it to work. Last time, that was blocked with a traffic cone. Always lovely to have the occasional flying dream, don't you think? I think that's a good note to end it on for today's Yume Nikki stream. The next one will probably be the last as we clean up a few tiny remaining secrets and make a beeline for the last of the effects in order to collect all of them and finish the game by placing every one of them into the lobby. You can get rid of effects in the room of doors, number key 5, as it says. You can save the game by walking up and checking the desk in the bedroom. Something changes the moment you put down every effect in the room of doors, and that leads to the ending of the game. But for now, as usual, thank you, as always, for tuning in, everyone. And thank you to the new followers, and thank you for, honestly, a lovely conversational stream today. I really appreciate it, and conversing like that, as I mentioned, is me extending my old habits of showing folks games and talking about them. Also, Suno Lily Soul, or Suno Lily Soul, is that Tokipona? Is that a phrase in Tokipona, or Am I misreading it? It's been a while. I'm pretty rusty at the language, so it is. All right. I'll look that up in post. Hee hee. Let's see who we can raid to. Ooh. Unicids, my partner in crime, and the reason that I am streaming in the first place, as I have mentioned, is streaming Hollow Knight. Let's go on over to another place and tell her from another place.
To another place.
Until next time, friends. Thank you as always for watching.